What up, y'all? It's time for probably one of the most anticipated mistakes of the Shinryu era that definitely shaped later things coming down the line. It's time for yet another shift, making the three previous FRs look pretty bad in comparison. But we'll touch on that later. I've been a Cam hyper since, 2018 when he first appeared in the game with his EX Plus, and he was garbage forever, but now he's broken, game-breaking, meta-defining, so, things shift. Nothing's ever set in stone. Thancred might be good in the game one day. Who knows? Anyways, welcome everybody watching to my video. Before you pull on Kam'Lanaut's event banner, this is the second Sex Warrior quest in GL, and the first official one. It's not the prelude anymore. Whatever. But in this video, before you pull on this banners, potentially I go over everybody, give you some things to think about before you use up any of your NF tickets. I play JP and Global if you're not familiar with my channel, and I use some of that experience and research to form my own opinions. And I like to give my plans at the end too, to get some skin in the game, let y'all know how I'm going about it this time around in my new game plus in GL. I want to hear your plans, so leave a comment please with your plans for the banner and the event. While you're here, like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I stream events and polls, and they're pretty fun to come through. People are down horrendous usually. It's a fun time, and I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers, so please, support the kid. Not a kid. And I read comments, but if you want to make sure I guaranteed reply to your comments, you can become a member for $1. You get special emotes as well. So without further ado, let's get started. Talking about Cam first. If you're not familiar with this kit, Cam is a ice infused melee attacker. He has tons of paralyze. He provides delay on his EX. He has a lot of attack down whenever he gets attacked. He puts a framed attack down on the bosses for a total, all his auras and stuff add up to 80% attack down, which is pretty heavy. Bosses do triple digit brave numbers to you generally with them. And with his BT, he provides more paralysis, and he warps the party after a stunned enemy acts. Now with his rework at level 90, he can guarantee paralyzes better. And his paralyzed on a skill 1 is AoE, so it's definitely a very strong stunner. Talking about his burst now, because he does get one of those, and man, I love that song. He gets 50% brave cap, 20% HP cap, 50% brave gains up for the party, and he inflicts a special frame stun after a party member acts. And after a boss acts and they're stunned, whoever's next in the turn order, they automatically warp next in the turn order. Kind of similar to Realm, I want to say, ish, but it's for the party. Just don't worry about it, it works. And the burst lasts 6 turns. This is a nice burst effect, I'd say. His FR condition, this is where things get spicy. So it's 20% on an ice attack. This only counts for on turn. Cam enchants himself with ice, so this is trivial for him to hit. If you need any other party members to hit that, you bring in Ice Enchanter, Ice Enchant Call, or a person who already deals ice. Happens to be 2 of them on the banner with Cater and Palom. 20% when you attack a paralyzed target. This is also on turn, so anyone inflicted with a stun. I don't know how HP silence counts. I'm pretty sure Fang's stun counts. And where it gets really spicy, this is the quote-unquote bug that became a feature. This includes people in chase. So every person, so if you launch TLDR and Cam's FR is up and you're attacking a stunned target, the launching attack counts as 20, and every party member that partakes in the air counts as 20. This is definitely not intended because this is ridiculous, but this is a simple way to get 60%. So 20, 20, 20, 60. And if you attack ice, it's 80% in total, just for one full party launch. There's someone doing an ice brave hit to start it, or in the middle with a brave attack. I don't know. This is broken. This is way more than any number we've currently had in GL, and it kind of outclasses everything. You can very easily get to a very high number while also doing damage. That's the important part, because you can look at Cryle and Braska, you're like, all right, you can gauge charge and get your number really high, but you weren't doing damage in the process. But you're getting these high numbers on Cam if you use the launch trick and someone's ice hitting. And even if you don't have an ice hit, by the way, if someone's launching with a Sid range call or a selfie debuff, that's still 60% for however many HP attacks on the ground plus 2 in the air. This is ridiculous damage, and can trivialize a lot for bosses for a very long time. So if you're trying to play Cam normally, or even if you're trying to use this, I put asterisk on the other one. So Karasame's calls is, his base call is Selfish Ice Enchant, LD call is Party Ice Enchant. This makes it simple. I forgot to put Snow's LD call in here because I forgot it Ice Enchanted, but you could use that on someone to help them hit ice. Cater's base call, Sella is in the party because she ice enchants. Onion Knight. Agarius is a stunner, but she's a little outdated right now. Fang, I think HP Silence works, I'm not sure, so Arciela. And if you're going the launch route to get the really big numbers, which I predict a lot of people will, because why not? Selfie, Debuff, and Sid Rain's LD Call. I guess Kais could work too. But yeah, I think I got the gist of it. So it's not free, you need to set it up, but if you do set it up, it's got unbalanced results, and they had to adjust the later FRs and give Tita some an unannounced rework midway through the month. I wonder why. So overall strength for Cam, 80% force. That speaks for itself. This is nutty. I think people don't understand how ridiculous that is. I think they just see big number, but and I'm sure the earlier FRs feel good now, but Cam just blows them out the water. It's not even close. He stuns like crazy. Stuns, and if they do happen to attack you, he's got crazy attack downs. He's super self-sufficient because he's got tons of brave gains in his kit. He self-enchants ice, so he's doing nice damage for himself. Downsides though, the warp priority might mess you up. I believe it does mess with EX recast. So if you don't want someone taking turns, say you're playing a counter tank or something, and what's his name? If Cam warps them forward, then that might not be desirable. But yeah, he doesn't enchant the party, so if you're trying to hit those FR conditions, that might get in your way potentially. The 80% setup does require some brain power, so for the people that thought Rain's Mail was too hard, this might be a little tricky for them. And he isn't great at being a main DPS. He doesn't have nearly as many HP attacks as the competitive DPS, like Machina, Tidus, Kane. It's a long list, but yeah, he's kind of in the middle, you know. Moving along though, let's talk about Paladin Cecil, who is getting a burst plus. Paladin Cecil is a holy and physical hybrid damage dealer. He provides party holy enchant, which is pretty nice. Although shout out to when the lockouts were going crazy with Cecil. That was a time to be alive. He provides massive healing. It's actually crazy. He overheals as well. He's got what's the right word? It's HP healed overflow. Is that it? I think so. Anyways, defensive buffs, he gives defense up to the party. Offensive buffs, the HP damage up, and all that good stuff. Let's keep moving. For his burst effect now, overall, he gives 60, the numbers in parentheses accounts for his, what's it called? High armor plus, that's the word. 65% brave cap, 40% HP cap, adding it up, which is very competitive. 50% brave damage, and the brave damage isn't taking into effect his aura, it's just his burst. HP based brave regen, which is whatever. You got fatter HP regen for the party, and this does last 6 turns now. I don't think it got extended from his original, which is unfortunate. Strengths wise, he can hit melee and range conditions. He's flexible in that regard. You can make him hit what you want to. His brave attack does do an HP attack. His brave plus does an HP attack now, so that's more viable as a damage option. He's got well-rounded buffs. He's pretty much one of the greatest third slot characters in the game to kind of fill your team out. Amazing healing again. HP healing overflow is really good because you can constantly stay up there instead of just single overheal, similar to Horum and Lena. And a special brave plus HP is going to hit special conditions down the road. Aerith, Yuna, Trolata, you name it. Weaknesses, his enchant is tied to his additional ability. So, yeah, you got to maintain that, but he does get a free Skeletor LD, so it is what it is. He is wholly locked, so if you're trying to make him hit, if you're trying to make other people hit if you're trying to make himself take part in an elemental FR, he just won't be able to do that. So he's kind of, if you're going elements, he's just out of the party. And he's got the conditionals of being at or above 100% HP, and that's easy to manage with Cecil, just again because of the healing overflow. But it is a weakness that if you're getting rocked a lot, his buffs aren't as strong. Moving along, Palom getting a C90. He is an ice magic attacker. He's a rebreaker now. His base skills now rebreak, so he can guarantee the second attacks because he does get consecutive turns with his LD. Like I said, he's got consecutive turns and he's got AoE damage. Strengths wise, he can force a break. So if you need a break condition like a Bronze or Aranea or Dorgan, I believe. Well, though that's not the greatest pair. That's a theory craft team because Dorgan needs wind. But Palom's got the special brave and HP attacks that have a decent amount of HP attacks now. He's self-sufficient for hitting his own numbers and hitting weakness damage up. Unfortunately, he loses out a bit because he's got consecutive turns in the Shinryu era when off turn and his HP attacks are split up. He's got lesser to account for the consecutive turns, so it's not as strong. Same issue as always, and he's ice locked overall. So if you're going for the elemental route, if you're not bringing someone for an ice FR like Onion Knight or Cam, Palom, if you're going for another element, Palom will not be optimal in that party. All right, moving along, we got Kimahri, who is a ranged debuffer support. He provides plenty of party heals and offensive party buffs. He's got party damage reduction, Brave and HP damage reduction, 100% blind, which now lasts 2 turns instead of 1, which is very strong. He's got way better uptime and is going to help the party dodge a lot of attacks. And he's got debuffs to help out the party not get rocked as hard. Strengths-wise, because of the blind, he's protecting the party like crazy. He's got the heals. He's just got a lot in one kit, basically. Heals, debuff, party protections, and that 20% HP cap, high armor plus. Because he can blind, he can work with FRs. Well, actually, it's just a Radia FR right now, but he's a strong pick for that. Weaknesses, though, he's still got low damage, unfortunately. It's always been a weakness of Kimahri. And blind is niche, really leaning on that. Really, in the Shinryu, they've emphasized offense over defense, and that offense includes off-turn offense. So while it's good and all, you can be protected from the party, you're probably better off doing more damage in most scenarios. So he kind of suffers in that regard. But when Kimahri works, he really works for keeping you safe. Last, going to the updated people, the lack of updated people. We've got Cater, who is a ranged an ice range and magic damage dealer, who provides evasion and off-turn counters. She's got in a trap as well. She's got lock for 1 turn, unfortunately, and she's got brave freeze, so that's pretty nifty. Evaluation-wise, Cater does provide special brave and HP. She does off-turn damage provided she is attacked. She'll do a 1 HP attack counter, and then her trap attack, I think, is also still 1 HP attack, so it's not great off-turn damage, but it exists. She's got a great LD call, framed freeze. I think Setzer's getting his call turned to a frame freeze next month, but Cater, being another option for that, is definitely handy, and her base call is nice and chance, so that's nice, but you don't need to do anything for that. And also her skill 2 is a gauge charge skill, because it doesn't do any damage, so that's a niche use for Cater, I suppose. Weaknesses, though, she's pretty outdated. Her lock does not last long, so it's not super reliable. You probably lean on more if you want to use Cater as like to main taunter. You bring a call for that. She really doesn't have that many HP attacks nowadays. Like, this was okay, 8 months ago when Queen's LC dropped, but now, yeah, she's not great, and she's ice focused. So again, if you're looking to lean on her for non-elemental FRs or whatever, that might ruin things. And last, we have Rosa, who is a magic range support. She provides re-raise. If the party dies, she just gets them right back up, which is pretty handy if you're getting rocked. And she does provide HP regen and burst heals, so she can keep the party healthy. Battery and HP damage refund, similar to what Garnet does. Yes, I just realized how Garnet's BT kind of dumpsters Rosa. Yikes. But it's a decent. She doesn't provide any. She doesn't take them any. She takes a 1 buff slot in the party, so she's slot efficient. Strengths rise, again, that re-raise, if you're really getting rocked by attacks, Rosa can keep you going again and again, and you don't get penalized for that anymore. Decent charge on her, decent gauge charge, I should say, on her skill 2, because it's free. Not free, it's no damage. The refunds can keep everybody safe if you're worried about getting broken for a reason. She's got special brave and HPs with battery on them to hit any of those conditions, and aura buffs make her easy to slot in. Unfortunately, her damage is pretty outdated and low, so she's not that desirable to bring on the party at the moment. It's just, yeah, unfortunate. She'll get an update again one day, but that's not right now. So, overall, banner evaluation. Before you pull on the banner, what do I think? This is not for people who've already decided. I think people are going to this banner blindly, and they're gonna get Cam's FR and BT and then not know what to do with it. They might even be newer people who don't have the pieces to set it up, and it might be a little more uncomfortable. I'm predicting some of the usual Reddit threads complaining that it was not as easy as advertised. Similar to how Rainsbound was. That really changed my perception forever. But you got a favorite, by all means, do what you want. Just take some of my thoughts into consideration. Try to beat content looking at other people before you feel the need to get things. So I would emphasize that people need to slow down on this banner. There was a debate like, oh, I'll just rely on a Kane friend and Kane BT. I don't need a Kane BT, whatever. I'll skip Kane FR. my perspective on that for Cam is that being a person who did not have a Cam FR, I did have his BT max it. I relied a ton on Cam FR friends, and that was enough for me because I had Titus and Machina driving the launch stuff when I decided to poke into that. So if you're on the fence about Cam, I say you could probably skip him. I think you won't miss him as much as you'd miss Kane in the party. That being said, having your own Cam can lend things being easier. But again, for the specific 80% setup, you need those pieces. You need the launches. And if you don't have a Sid Reigns LD call, then you're gonna have a harder time launching in the party. If you don't have Kais, who's on the Kane banner right now, it's gonna be a little bit trickier. Just make sure you can at least get the 60% with the launches, because if you can't get that, that's a big yikes. And having a good driver of Machina, someone will post an explanation over it. I don't need to go into it in depth then. Anyways, so overall, I'd say most people probably should not get Cam. I mean, someone's got to do it if you need a friend, right? But people are gonna do it. You can't tell them otherwise. I'll have a Cam friend up. And going into my plans, I'm rambling right now. Jesus. I plan to have my own Cam. I skipped him in JP because I was scared they'd nerf him, and they didn't. So I'm just gonna go all in now and have my own Cam. I don't know what I'm gonna do with him. I like the character. I might play him normally and not do the launch stuff, but he's a solid character all around. Banner-wise, I already have everything except Cam's FR. Maybe I don't have Palom's LD. I don't know, but I'm not going for that. So what are my recommendations? I'd say Hater's LD calls are good to have. If you don't have a good mitigation call, like Ryzen LD call is nice, but having multiple of those is good. So I'd say maybe Ticket Cater's FR, that's what I really recommend. Paladin Cecil, he's strong, but he doesn't really shine in any FRs, which is a big downside. You could make him work again with those specialty speed conditions. You've got multiple holy FRs with Kuja. He could enchant for Saban's FR, and he could Minwoo down the line as well. I don't know what Minwoo's condition is, so I lied. Ignore that. But I wouldn't explicitly recommend, because the rest of that Paladin Cecil banner is pretty hot garbage. Palom, nah. So at best, I'd say try and get Cater's LD call. If you want your own Cam in the party and you haven't invested in FR a bit, that might be good, but you might get a little buyer's remorse when you see that you could have just relied on him as a friend. Just kind of tease it out. His banner's up for a while. But again, I will be having a Cam FR just because I want to use him. And that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, road to 5,000 subscribers. Leave your plans in the comments below. 6 Warrior Quest hype, and I'll catch you guys later. All right, peace.